¿Qué pasa YouTube? How's it going, everybody? Have for y'all today the team building video for week 14 of the not GBA but the P4G season 2. This week the Durham Druddigons are taking on the Paris Politoedes, coached by CYKOMORE. I honestly don't know which two of the pronunciations it is, but we are facing the Paris Politoedes. His channel link and stuff will be down in the description, as well as a link to the P4G YouTube. Now, CYKOMORE, much like our opponent last week, is a French YouTuber, so he uploads mainly videos in French. If I'm not mistaken, like I watched the recent one or two and they are in French, but if you guys definitely want to go check him out, go feel free to do so, since he's been doing pretty well so far in this season. So at this point, before I get into the actual like team building and stuff, the Durham Druddigons are basically in playoffs. Like this game and our last week game, our final week game, which is next week, week 15, these two games do not matter whatsoever. Like we win or we lose, we're still in playoffs. I guess the only real thing that they affect is our positioning in like the power rankings. Currently we are number 2. If we win, I think we still stay number 2 if I'm not mistaken, or if we lose, I think we're still at least top 4, and there's no way we can drop past number 8 at this point. So to be 100% honest with you guys, I don't really care if I win or lose this game. Like, I don't want that to sound bad, I really don't, but I'm not saying I'm gonna throw the battle. Basically, I'm still gonna try and win, but my prep probably is not that great. Like, my prep could probably be a little bit better if I'm being honest with you guys. But regardless, I'm still gonna go into this week trying to win and not just be like, oh, I'm gonna click buttons and throw the battle. No, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, just want you guys to kind of keep that in mind if you maybe notice like something really wrong with the team or something. But yeah, anyways, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer that like button down below. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about our team matchup, what you think about this game in general. And yeah, that's all I think I really have to say. So below me, as you guys can see, we have the matchup. Again, the top 6 Pokemon on my opponent's squad are what I'm mainly expecting. So Infernape, Landorus, Therian, Mega Venusaur, Cresselia, the Bisharp, and I think Miltank. Yeah, is it Miltank? I think it's Miltank. Miltank. Those 6 mons are what I'm mainly expecting. Mismagius could potentially come. I'm not really too concerned about the Druddigon or the Regirock. I don't really think those things are really that big of an issue. Zebstrika doesn't seem entirely too problematic either. I think is that the entire team? I think that's the whole team. I feel like I'm missing one Pokemon. Tentacruel. If Tentacruel comes, it's honestly not even going to be that big of an issue either, unless it's like a really fast, speedy offensive variant, which could be a little bit annoying now that I think about it. But either way, I don't think it's going to be as big of a problem. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump right into this. So as you guys may have noticed from CYKOMORE's team, it's kind of really fat. Not his team, but his draft, sorry. His draft is really fat. Like, I think his only real offensive mons, or like frail mons, are Zebstrika, Infernape, and Bisharp. I guess Mismagius is a little frail on the physical side, but it's got a pretty respectable Spadef stat. And his Z-move mons are Landorus, Infernape, and Mismagius, so obviously had to watch out for those 3. But the general idea kind of going into this matchup is just to hopefully break his team down and weaken it to the point where something can come in late game and sweep potentially, or if we lose, then we lose, and it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, anyways, as you guys can see here, we have Vicente the Victini. Look at Vicente, look at his team. Tell me everything that just dies to Victini on the switch in. Yeah, Cresselia obviously can switch in and just chew any move I want to go for, but that is why we have Taunt. Taunt is really nice to stop Cresselia from Calm Minding, substituting, Thunder Waving, I think I said Calm Mind, I don't know. Calm Minding, potentially dual screens or something, Trick Room even. I've seen him run Trick Room before. Actually, this is the thing about CYKOMORE. He brings odd sets. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way, not at all, but he brings unorthodox sets on Pokemon. I'm guessing to just kind of throw his opponent off guard, so clearly that's what I'm expecting him to do in this game. So I don't expect the 6 to mainly come, but if they do come, I'll have to watch out for them. But either way, I'm mainly prepping for the top 6, but I'm still taking everything into consideration. But I know that CYKOMORE, again, does like to bring odd things and bring odd Pokemon to matchups. So I definitely expect some things to not be there, and some things I don't expect him to potentially be there in general. But either way, between Focus Blast, Blue Flare, and Psychic, we hit everything for neutral or super effective damage. Of course, the Colbur Berry is going to be for the Bisharp, which I 100% expect, if I'm being honest, mainly because we do have Krookodile, which has Intimidate. Yeah, we have Cobalion, but at +1, Brick Break does really hurt from Bisharp, and even if he's just like an Adamant Life Orb, Brick Break switching into that's gonna really suck if we bring Cobalion, which we brought Cobalion every single week, so yeah, I honestly do expect them to bring the Bisharp just to mainly try and trap Victini or potentially revenge kill Victini is what I'm thinking. But we have enough speed to outspeed Jolly Max Speed Landers because I do not want that thing to potentially just freely set up or just come in and revenge kill, and then if it turns out to be Scarf, that can kind of be played around if I'm being honest, so not too concerned about that. Also with the HPVs, we can tank at least one hit a little bit better from the Infernape, as long as it's not like Tectonic Rage or Continental Crush, I think. So that's going to be really nice as well. And then max special attack, obviously, so it can do as much damage as possible. He doesn't really safely switch into Victini. Like, Victini severely can pressure his team and weaken his walls. Quick shouts out to the front office homies. And I think, like, did anybody from Bullet Punch Club help me out this week? I don't think so. Because I just kind of, again, I just really just threw this team together, if I'm being honest with you guys, like the last night, and I should be playing Sycamore in a couple hours, I think. Not a couple hours, sorry, in a couple of minutes, so I'm recording this, gonna hit him up, and then we'll go from there. Next off, we have Zizaro, the Mega Aerodactyl, of course, coming back this week. So the great thing about Mega Aerodactyl, much like many of its matchups, I can just run Adamant and do a lot of damage to my opponent's team. That's essentially the idea behind this Aerodactyl set. I was a little bit iffy on whether or not I wanted Toxic or Taunt, but I guess if it really came down to it, I would much rather Toxic the Cresselia. That way I can at least put it on a timer if it does turn out to be like a Calm Mind set, but at the same time, Taunt is really good as well. I don't know, like I'm still 50-50 on whether or not I like Toxic or Taunt more, but just to be safe, we're gonna go with Toxic here. Hold on, why is this? What is this? Tough Claws. Hello? Oh, what is going on? Here we go, okay. But yeah, Mega Aerodactyl, much like Victini, can really pressure his team. Adamant Max Attack Mega Aerodactyl, once things are worn down by Stealth Rocks, can just kind of come in and get a KO. And then if I predict Cresselia to switch in, I can just Toxic it. Ice Fang, even to a KO's max defense, max HP Landers on the switch, and I think the minimum we do is like 55%, so that's really the only benefit of having Ice Fang on the set. Earthquake, of course, is nice to be able to hit the Infernape, the Bisharp, the Zebstrika, and the Registeel along with the Tentacruel as well. We are running enough speed to outspeed Zebstrika, which is his fastest Pokemon. As long as it's not Scarfed or he doesn't have a Scarfer in general, Cesaro should be able to outspeed everything in this game. And then Aerial Ace is nice to be able to smack around the Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur is stupidly fat. Like, I think a physically defensive Mega Venusaur only takes like 51 to like 60-ish% from Aerial Ace, which is insane if you ask me, man. But I don't think he would bring max defense and max HP Venusaur. Most likely like a mixed defensive set is what I'm thinking. But for the most part, between Cesaro and Vicente here, we should be able to pressure his team and hopefully weaken things down. If not, then I can just kind of Toxic the walls that he could potentially have, like Registeel, Druddigon, non-Heal Bell Milk Tank, and Cresselia mainly is what I'm thinking. I guess I could maybe catch like Zebstrika on a switch in with Toxic, but I don't really think that would matter. Moving on down the line, we have Tranquilo the Krookodile here making his return as well. Now, I don't like this set. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I don't like this set at all. The main issue with this set is that it can't really do anything to Venusaur. Like, Venusaur just kind of hard walls me. But I guess the good thing about it is that if I taunt Mega Venusaur, eventually I can just kind of chip him down with Earthquake and be able to put him in range of where I could possibly revenge kill him. Citrus Berry is honestly just kind of a filler item. I thought maybe Rocky Helmet would be nice. I did originally have Black Glasses as well. I thought maybe Choppleberry could come in handy. Quinn pointed that out, but Choppleberry, even if Infernape comes in and is not intimidated, even after Choppleberry, close combat does way too much damage. So I really felt like Citrus Berry would be a nice item. I guess I could have potentially gone like Figgy Berry or something. That might have been pretty decent, mainly because it would give me more HP. But with the Citrus Berry, I could potentially switch into a Brick Break coming from a +1 Bisharp and get the Citrus Berry and then go from there and potentially knock him out with the Earthquake, which is really nice. I think at one point I actually had Moxie on not on Infernape, but I had Moxie on this Crocodile because, again, the Bisharp, I honestly do expect them to bring the Bisharp because late game SD Bisharp, or just +1 Bisharp in general late game, could be a little bit problematic. But Taunt and Toxic are excellent in this matchup because we can taunt Cresselia, we can taunt Mega Venusaur, we can taunt Milk Tank if it's not like a super fast set, we can even taunt Landorus, because with Jolly Max Speed, we outspeed Jolly Max Speed Landorus by 1 point, which is excellent because we can stop that from Rock Polishing or Sword Dancing and just kind of bending me over. So yeah, huge benefits of having Taunt on this set. Toxic is mainly for the Landorus, the Druddigon, and the Cresselia in general, just because being able to Toxic Cresselia is going to be so good to be able to just wear it down, and the longer it stays in, the more chip damage it will be taken. So you guys will notice a theme on this team in a second. So next off, we have Corbin the Cobalion. Of course, you guys, at this point, just expect me to have Cobalion and 5 other Pokemon on any and every single team, if I'm being honest with you, because Cobalion is so good. Oh my god, Cobalion is such a monster. So of course, we have Taunt on Cobalion again for the same reasons that we have Taunt on Victini and Crocodile, as I mentioned before. But the great thing about Cobalion in this matchup is that outside of the Zebstrika, we outspeed everything, and then we speed tie with the Infernape. So if he doesn't have Infernape, or if we get rid of Infernape, or if he doesn't have Zebstrika, or we get rid of Zebstrika, this just comes in and kind of breaks his team. The idea behind Cobalion is to Sword Dance and either ensure that I can break Cresselia or I can break Mega Venusaur, because the combination of those two paired up with Landorus and Milk Tank could be a severely big issue for us to deal with. And then of course he can also potentially bring the Tentacruel, which would be even more annoying because clearly he walls our set. Like, I would have loved to have Zen Headbutt on this set, but the thing is that I really feel like Taunt is a lot better than Zen Headbutt, mainly for the Cresselia, because if I waste my Z move and I am only able to Sword Dance against Cresselia, he can just potentially just keep Moonlighting or setting up, like Thunder Wave me even. At least by having Taunt, I can ensure that I stop Cresselia from potentially Thunder Waving me or getting up dual screens or just recovering in general. +2 Corkscrew Crash from Cobalion to max defense, max HP Venusaur, I believe does like 60-ish%, and then we can guarantee Live in Earthquake or a Hidden Power Fire, although he could bring HP Ice if I'm being realistic just for Garchomp. But as long as he doesn't have Sleep Powder, or if I taunt Venusaur, I can potentially see if it does have the Sleep Powder. I guess he could maybe bring Leech Seed as well. That could be actually a little bit annoying. But for the most part, Cobalion is just mainly here to be another just aggressive wall breaker in this matchup. Like, I would have loved to run Adamant, but Jolly is just really nice if it comes down to a speed tie between me and the Infernape. Although, yeah, because he could run enough speed on Infernape to just outspeed like Victini. Not Victini, but outspeed Garchomp, but I think he should really just run Jolly or just Timid Max Speed to potentially speed tie with Cobalion, and then yeah, just kind of go from there. Rock Polish was also considered on this set because the only real thing that this Cobalion would have issues with is breaking through Landorus. But you've already seen 2 Pokemon with Toxic. We have Ice Fang on Aerodactyl, and then Victini just kind of smacks around Landorus with Blue Flare. So yeah, I'm not entirely too concerned about Cobalion being walled by Landorus, if I'm being perfectly honest with you guys, because I should be able to pressure Landorus enough, especially if I'm able to get up Stealth Rocks. If I get up Rocks in, that's going to be chip damage Landorus is taking every time it switches in and out, which is going to be really good. And then Rocks in general are just going to be nice to pick up those extra like 1 or 2 potential 2 KOs or just OKOs in general. So moving on down the line, we have Guillermo the Garchomp making his return. Much like the Crocodile set, I don't really like this set. This is just kind of a filler set if I'm being honest with you guys. We have enough speed to outspeed the Landorus. We are rocking the HP Ice, which is a nice little tech. I'm hoping that I can catch Landorus with an HP Ice and potentially knock him out. Although I guess he could potentially run like Yachi Berry, maybe? Like, that wouldn't be entirely too bad for him to run. Stealth Rocks, of course, are the most important move in the game. Getting up Rocks in this matchup are going to be excellent, especially because his only form of hazard removal is Tentacruel. And if he doesn't bring Tentacruel, I just get on my hazards for free, and I wear down his team every time they switch in and out. So that's going to be a huge plus to us. And of course, you guys know we have to have Toxic here. Again, this can Toxic Landorus, Cresselia, Milk Tank, Druddigon, Miss Magius, Zebstrika potentially on the switch-in, or if he over predicts, Regirock even. Earth Power is just there because I thought it would be doing more damage than Earthquake, but even with a timid nature, we have by far more physical attack. So yeah, maybe it's just, I should probably just put Earthquake on this, honestly. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because, again, win or lose, we should be fine in this game either way. Rough Skin, of course, is going to be nice just to chip down a potential Scarfed Infernape or just close combating Infernape, and we can also wear down the Bisharp, physical Milk Tank, even a Druddigon potentially, which could be nice. And then Yache Berry is for the HP Ice on Infernape or Landorus that I'm definitely think he's going to bring. He could also just bring Ice Beam on Cresselia, so that could be a little bit annoying, so I have to watch out for that. So yeah, moving on down to the final Pokemon making his first ever debut for the Durham Druddigons. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Pokemon I picked up, I think like week 2 or week 3, and not once have I brought this Pokemon. Essentially, I've been building every match up until this point to with only 10 Pokemon, because this Mon right here just was never going to be brought, most likely, and until now it actually has a pretty decent matchup this game. We have, making his debut once more, the Excelgor, aka Tiptoes the Excelgor here, the shiny Excelgor, I might add. And I originally wanted to do something like a final Gambit set with max HP to potentially get us a prize Oko on the Mega Venusaur, because Mega Venusaur and Excelgor have the same amount of HP. But then if he brings Cresselia and Milk Tank, and I think Tentacruel too, they have more HP than Excelgor, so that could potentially backfire on me. So I decided to switch it up and go with a more offensive set. Water Shuriken was actually suggested to me by Quinn, so shouts out to him, because the great thing about Water Shuriken is that it's a nice way to potentially revenge kill the Landorus and potentially revenge kill the Infernape, especially because Infernape is really not the most bulky thing around. A modest max special attack Water Shuriken should still be doing a pretty solid amount of damage to him, as long as I can get Landorus and Infernape at about 50% or at 50%, and then they take rocks damage. I should be able to then revenge kill them with Water Shuriken. So this is kind of like a backup to like Scarfed Infernape or a Rock Polish setup. Landorus in general. Also, Water Shuriken could break the substitute of a subbing Landorus, which is nice. But between Bug Buzz and HP Ice, we do kind of hit everything for neutral damage, except for the Tentacruel, which really iffy on whether or not he's going to bring, to be honest. And then Spikes are going to be excellent if he doesn't bring the Tentacruel, because then I can Spike Stack as he switches out, or as he switches into like Infernape or the Tentacruel. I just get up a free layer of Spikes and then we go from there. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind Excelgor here. It's not really that great of a wall breaker, if I'm being honest, but it is nice to just kind of keep up offensive pressure. I would have liked to fit Baton Pass and Encore on the set, but between HP Ice and Bug Buzz and Water Shuriken, I definitely think I need those 3 moves. And then Spikes are just way too good to pass up, if I'm being honest with you guys, because being able to get off that extra 12% with Spikes on the Venusaur or the Milk Tank or the Druddigon, Regirock, even Zebstrika, if we have Spikes and Rocks up, that limits the amount of times that Zebstrika can switch in and out, and then we also get off chip damage on Bisharp as well, which is excellent. So yeah, guys, that is going to be the introduction to the team. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this matchup, what you think about our squad, and with that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow with the actual battle itself. So later, everybody.